Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and we're getting exclusive access to an all-new 2020 Lincoln Aviator Grand Touring. Yes, this is the hybrid monster with literally over 600 pound-feet of torque and almost 500 horsepower. So as always, we're gonna do a quick walk around on the car, then we're gonna take it out to see how it drives. A huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for providing us with the Grand Touring. Check out their inventory in the link below. Under the hood here, we have a twin turbocharged 3-liter V6 that goes to a 10-speed automatic transmission. In terms of power outputs, it's good for 494 horsepower and then 630 pound-feet of torque. It is through a 10-speed automatic transmission with an EV range of about 18 miles, and then I'll show the fuel economy when I show the window sticker. Now let's go over things on the front end of the Grand Touring. So we've got these same LED lights just like on any other Aviator, and then also the Lincoln logo in the center does illuminate, and then you can see right there, if you look very closely, it is blue obviously to signify that this is a hybrid. And then the fog lights are just down below. Obviously you have Lincoln's big signature front end grille, and other than the blue badging, that's really the only way to distinguish this from a regular Aviator. Coming around the side here, we've got these 21-inch rims with 275mm tires. Everything is the same in the front as it is in the rear. Now they do have sound deadening within the tires themselves, which is really cool. It's going to minimize road noise. And then we do have the Aviator badge there again. It's kind of has the inside part in blue to signify this is a hybrid. Now we do have a little door here because it is a plug-in hybrid, and then you just got to press that back in to close it. Pretty standard setup right there. The mirrors are black, kind of like contrast against the body. Another thing to note is everything is body colored. So like the bottom of the bumper and the front's body colored. Everything all along the side is all body colored, whereas on most of the Aviators I've noticed is kind of black down there, where this is kind of all body colored, which is a neat little look. And then there's your side view on this Aviator. Here is the key fob on the Aviator Grand Touring. Now you've got all of your regular functions. You've got your unlock, lock, the remote start, the trunk release, the alarm, and then you've got the Lincoln logo on the back. Now to remote start, you have to lock it and then press remote start twice, and then it'll start up. Just give it a moment. Now you notice that you won't hear anything, and that's because it is in the EV mode and it's just using the battery power right now. And then if you press that again, that'll shut off all of the electronics and everything. And then the next thing we can do is to open up the tailgate. So press that function and the tailgate will pop right open. Now, coming into the rear here, nothing really looks too different from a regular Aviator. There is a little charging cord under there, obviously to signify since this is a hybrid. You still got the little charge port back here, and then you can fold down these seats. So like I can press that button right there and that'll fold down that seat in the rear. And then I can obviously pick the seat back up, whatever I want to do. It's funny that this position where you like switch the seats, so whatever position they're in, they'll just switch in the rear. So it's nice that they have those controls. And then finally, you can lower down the tailgate just with this button, and that'll just lock the whole car. So just press that and that'll lower it all down. Now coming into the back, we've got all the normal stuff with the Aviator. So you got the Lincoln logo in the back, the huge light bar, dual outlet exhaust, parking sensors at the very bottom. But the cool part is the lights. So if you actually turn on the lights here, it kind of slowly illuminates. It's a really cool look until the whole light bar is on, and then if you lock the car, the mirrors actually do power fold in, but then you can see again it does like the same track until the lights are fully off, which I think is a neat little look. Now coming into the back of the Aviator, we can see this one has the brown interior, and obviously the door's not cooperating with me, but we've got a little sunshade back here, and then the leather here is very soft to the touch. You've got all the normal kind of black paneling. Don't want to get it too dirty with my fingers. I love the speakers for the sound system, just how they look. That's actually how you open the door itself. It's just that little electronic button. And then this one has the captain chair layout inside of it, and just the chairs themselves back here, again, they've got the really nice high quality leather within them. You can fold them with all these functions. It's like this little button right here you can do basically to move it forward, and the reason you do that to make it easier to get into the third row, but I'm going to put that back. We'll get into the third row in just a moment. Down here is kind of like a little center console, so back passengers can control their own climate zone, all that kind of stuff. They do get some charging stations, the vents on top of that, and then other than that, things are pretty simple back here. And well, we're gonna head to the back now. So we're first gonna pop into the second row here, and the second row is actually really comfortable. So the leg space is decent. I'm actually gonna shut the door here so you guys can kind of get an idea of just the lighting in here. But leg space and foot space is good in the rear here. And then in terms of headroom, hopefully you guys can see me, but the headroom is super solid and it's got a really nice headliner. It actually, the only thing is normally I do crawl into the third row. However, there's no floor mats back there and I do not want to get the floor dirty in this car. It's actually the only one they have right now. But the third row has not changed legroom wise compared to a regular Aviator, just so you guys can kind of know. And then here's what those seats look like in the back. Now coming around to the side, you just have to pull the little door handle to actually open it, but it's really cool to actually lock it. So there's this little locking logo. It's next to the Ford keypad. You just press the little button right there. That'll actually lock the car and then power fold in the mirror. But again, it's just a regular electronic release to open up the door. Now the door panel here on the front looks identical to the one in the rear. It's just the controls are different and they even have the same speakers pretty much. But you get that same little electronic release to open up the door. All of your seat controls are on the side of the door. All of your window controls and mirror controls are on that little side right there. Now looking at the seats here in the front, I absolutely love the look of them. So I've got these really cool headrests that are pretty much in all of the upgraded Lincolns. And then the bolsters, it's just the seat has so many different adjustments, and Lincoln has kind of just signified where each adjustment is on the seat. And so it just has this really cool, unique look to it. And then obviously there's not gonna be seat controls on the side because they're on the door side. Pedal layout is just going to be down below there, the hood latch with the double pull, and then you've got all of your controls for the tailgate here. That's a gas cap, all of your light controls in that little area, and then the steering wheel is going to be automatically adjustable. And then I am going to show you guys the paddles in the back of the steering wheel just so you can see that. Now to start up the Aviator, just put your foot on the brake, push that little push start, and then it does kind of a cool little cloud graphic there. It actually does do in the center touchscreen when it is not turned on, and then yes, low fuel as usual. Here's the steering wheel in the Aviator, and just like all the other ones, leather wrapped, which is a really nice look. And then we've got all the controls in the steering wheel, and this is the steering wheel system that changes based on what you're doing. So like right now, I'm pressing cruise control, and then all the stuff will illuminate once I've pressed it, and then I can press it again and it'll disappear. This is the other cool one. So like over here, as I press the functions, it'll change what I'm doing based on the function that I go over to. So I just love the look of it, how clean it is, and then also just the functionality on it. I mean, it's pretty ingenious in my opinion. Like I said, there are paddles on the back of the steering wheel, and then you got the stock for like the turn signal, for example, also to flash the high beams. And then on the other side, you've got the stock for the windshield wipers. Here's our center display, and it says electric driving right now. But there are a couple different menus that you can scroll through on this just to give you different bits of information. You can kind of see them popping up there on the screen. I like how it says the calm screen, where it's completely blank if you just don't want anything there on the side. So we'll go back to that, where it's just a calm screen. Nothing's happening. But we do have the drive mode select. I'll show you guys the dial in just a minute. It is going to tell me the different modes, and it kind of gives you warnings and everything. But you can see you've got like the preserve EV mode, for example, and then you've got the excite, you've got the conserve, you've got the normal, slippery, deep conditions. I'm not seeing anything different other than that conserve or preserve EV, sorry. Other than that though, all the other modes are pretty much the same as what they were before. Here is the center cluster. This again is going to be unchanged compared to all the other Aviators. It's just like all of Lincoln's other upgraded systems. Response time on it is actually pretty good. You do get the Apple CarPlay that comes with it, which is a nice feature. A lot of people love that. Even though I have it, I never use it personally. The seats, you are going to have the massage function on it, so that's a cool little thing. And you can see just all of the different adjustabilities on the seats, just ridiculous. Ambient lighting, you've got a bunch of different colors to choose from on that. And then finally, we are going to pop it into reverse. When it does go into reverse, you get that bird's eye view with the little trajectory lines here on that screen, and then you can zoom in if you are going to tow anything with this car. It's kind of cool. It's like all black silhouette. That's a nice little touch right there. But there's this camera button down here. I'm going to press that so you can see that's associated with the screen again. There's a couple different views on it, so it just gives you that view and then a couple views at the front. So, I mean, from a camera perspective, it's pretty solid. Now, I already showed you the camera button. It'll actually also pop up on the touchscreen. You can see it's the parallel and perpendicular parking assistance. And then that button is for the auto hold, traction, all that kind of stuff. This is your gear selector. So you've got park, reverse, neutral, and then drive that you can go through with this Aviator. And then down here is all of your analog controls for the radio, the climate controls. You do get heated and ventilated seats. Really nice wood paneling. And I like how they haven't done like the super glossy wood, how they've kind of done this more grainy wood, because not only does it feel nicer to the touch, but it also looks a lot more premium. Now here's a view of the whole center console area. I've got a bunch of hidden little compartments. So I got like all the charging stuff in that compartment. And then in this one, this is the cup holders. And I'm glad that they let you cover it up. And even the cover to the compartment has a very nice feel to it. That's your parking brake. This is the drive mode. So like I showed you the drive modes, but this is how you actually go through them. Now this is the center console. The button right there is just that to lift it up. And then it is lined with felt. And finally, we are going to pop over to the glove box in this little area. The handle's just down there, a little bit out of reach for me, but again, lined with felt and pretty normal sized glove box. Up top, we've got our little sunglass holder, all the controls for the sunroof. It is a full panoramic sunroof, and I opened it up so you guys can see how much light it lets into the cabin, especially since we're filming this at night pretty much. And I already commented on the headliner, very nice premium headliner, all the universal garage openers in that area. And other than that, they did match the bottom of this, so they kind of have like the brown to black, and then it continues up top with the black accenting. Now, before I go over pricing, I just want to mention the interior on this is very well put together. Just from a design perspective, it all kind of flows together, but also from a material perspective, it's all just really nice, high quality materials, just looks and feels really nice. And the window sticker's hiding up there. So let's grab the window sticker right here. Like I said, I was going to show you the fuel economy section on that, just so you guys can kind of see what I mean on the fuel economy. Now, we have the Lincoln Aviator, and then down here it'll show us the base price of an Aviator is $68,800. This one has $14,000 in options, which brings the total price to $83,245. Now that obviously is the Grand Touring package with this new hybrid powertrain, which gives it ridiculous power and torque figures. That all being said though, let's take this 2020 Aviator Grand Touring out to see how it drives. So before we set off here in the Aviator, let's talk about visibility. And obviously pretty close to nighttime, so it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to see everything. But over the hood is identical to any other Aviator. The hybrid system hasn't affected that at all. And then visibility throughout the mirrors, again, nothing's really changed there. Got our buddy over here. What's up?
Hello.
And then we've got visibility in the rear. Got another friend in the back. And then we've got visibility throughout the rest of the rear. So solid overall, and gotta actually fix the mirrors before we head off. Now we're making our first turn and setting off here in the Aviator, and what I'm noticing so far from the ride quality is it's just like all the other Aviators. So ride quality is really smooth, and I'm not really noticing a difference between any other Aviator compared to this. I feel like the ride quality is pretty much identical. The brake feel, it's kind of has that little bit of that hybrid brake feel where it makes you feel like you're almost a new driver because the brakes are pretty touchy. Steering it right here, it's pretty easy to maneuver. Now actually going through here, I mean, I'd say that from a ride quality perspective and a noise perspective, it's just like any other Aviator, super luxurious, super comfortable. And obviously we're gonna get a little acceleration up here, so that should be fun. Now I put it over into Excite for the acceleration. Well, the window sticker fell off, so that's indication with how quick this is. It definitely feels quicker than a normal Aviator, just from an acceleration standpoint, and obviously it has way more torque and horsepower, and I don't really need to say anything else. Like, it's fast, and I mean, it actually kind of feels faster than my Raptor, which is sad to say, but it's true. Now to cap things off for the video on the Aviator, and perfectly we've hit into a bunch of traffic so we can kind of slow things down, you still get that same luxurious driving experience, but now this has a ton of power. From a fuel economy standpoint, yeah, it'll be a little bit more economical compared to a regular Aviator, but that's not why you'd buy this car. You'd buy this car just because it's basically a third row rocket ship, and I mean, it has more power and way more torque than an SRT Durango, and I thought that was like the craziest third row SUV on the market, but yeah, this might just beat it. by quite a bit. And there we have it, everyone, the all-new 2020 Lincoln Aviator Grand Touring with the new hybrid system, and even as it gets darker, it looks so much better at night. But anyways, a huge shout out and thank you again to the Larry Schmiller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah for providing us with the Aviator. Check out their inventory in the link below, and if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe. I will see all of you in that next video.